Good evening, friends. This is Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multi asset and multinational hedge fund. By multi asset, I mean we actively take positions in multiple asset classes. By multinational means we actively take positions in multiple locations like United States, Europe, and Asia Pacific region. But like I repeated many a times, and I would continue to repeat all the times that we are a proprietary hedge fund. By proprietary, I mean to say that no third party, I repeat, no third party can invest capital in our fund. Treasury Consulting or any of the subsidiaries of Treasury Consulting do not invite capital from third parties. Please do take a note of that. People are often asking me one question that where is recession? On WhatsApp, LinkedIn, emails, phone calls, people are asking me one question: where is recession? And my reply to most of them is that don't you able to see that recession is standing next to you? Example: Microsoft cuts 1,000 plus jobs. There is a news which is coming that Amazon is also putting a freeze and starting the layoffs. Facebook Zuckerberg made it very clear that this is the first time Facebook would be cutting job, and that too in a huge quantity. On the contrary, Ford Motors, General Electric, and Twitter, and the list is extremely long, not to mention the, I would say, the crypto companies who shed off around millions of jobs, but unfortunately, we don't have any information in that regards. Stripe, please open Google and check about Stripe. You would get to know yourself. If you open Google and do the research, you would get to know that how millions of people are sleeping on the roads in United States, in the different states of US. How the mass unemployment is shaping up in United States of America. How the people below poverty line, BPL, is rising in United States of America. Now that's a separate thing that the compromised media like Bloomberg, they never show these kind of things because they know that their bosses who are sitting in White House never allow them to speak this reality in the public. Because the day they would be starting speaking about this reality, people would start asking questions from them and say, where were you when this mess started? Like even today, when United States officially crossed $32 trillion of debt, I repeat, $32 trillion of debt, Bloomberg hardly covering this topic. The video we shot on 6th November 2021. Last week, Federal Reserve hiked the rate by 75 basis point, and this is a continuous 75 basis point hike by the Federal Reserve, which means the sovereign curve, the 10-year sovereign curve, on which the, I would say, it is also known as the benchmark curve worldwide, which was already at 4.25%, now it is around 5% plus, which means 32 trillion into 5%. This is very, very simplistic competition I am doing. I repeat, very, very simplistic competition. Even in this reality, around 1.5 trillion, you heard me very right, 1.5 trillion is the interest cost in the books of United States. The situation of Asia, Dubai, Hong Kong, Philippines, Nepal, Bhutan, and all these countries are not the rosy as we are talking. Egypt, who is a part of MENA, Middle East, you can say, raised near about 3 billion, you heard me very right, $3 billion worth of loan from International Monetary Fund. Please do take a note that recession is already here, and the world is already facing a recession. And this is a reason why the corporates, the top tier corporates, are cutting jobs, not 10, 20, 30, but 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. Like Credit Suisse, who clearly saying that we would be cutting at least 9,000 jobs. 9,000 jobs. Twitter, 50% of the workforce, according to Elon Musk, asked to step down. 50%. God knows in the near future, this 50% would be 75% or probably maybe 95%. But as we speak, officially it is 50%. The world, the countries are raising a huge amount of debt. And this debt is accumulating. And we all understand that this debt is supposed to crash because history is witness that not always the negative thing stands. This debt is supposed to collapse, and even today, on 6th November, it is happening. When the international media painted a picture of negative gold, when gold was at 1624, they painted a picture that gold would come down to 1560, something like, and I'm sure that millions of investors invested only because they wanted to be a millionaire overnight, and gold grew from 1624 to 1680. And I did benefit it because I never sold it, I always bought it. Similarly is the scenario with the other commodities. Similarly is the scenario with the hard commodities as we speak. Guys, we are already reeling in the world of recession. And please be note that there is a high probability, I repeat, there is a high probability that this recession would continue. This recession would continue because the efforts which are being made to tame this inflation is actually not the effort, rather a joke. So, next video, let me give you a very simplistic example in that regards. We all know that Russia Ukraine war is going on. Unfortunately, Russia reached at a level when he started displaying his nuclear capabilities in public domain. 2 weeks ago, he did the test fire of the nuclear ballistic missiles, and 1 day ago, Russia test fires submarine ballistic missiles. It means Russia is testing everything. He is testing nuclear capability on the ground, nuclear capability on the ship, and nuclear capability using the submarine. These three are the only options anyone is having. Now, please note that Ukraine used to produce 45 million metric tons of wheat. 45 million metric tons of wheat. In terms of sunflower oil, Ukraine is one of the leading producers of the sunflower oil. In terms of other Agriculture commodities, Ukraine is also in the top list of the top agriculture commodities in the world. But thanks to the Russia Ukraine war, the passage of Ukrainian wheat is more or less stopped worldwide. More or less. It means that the 45 million metric tons worth of wheat production is no more, because we know that Ukraine is facing the war, and in this war, and in war it is not always easy to produce the wheat, forget the selling. In this eventuality, the common sense is that the population remains intact of the globe, rather growing, even if by half percent or maybe 1%. So demand is definitely rising, but the supply is constrained thanks to Ukraine. And Ukraine is not responsible for this, it is the war which is primarily responsible for this. Now put your hand on your hearts and tell me, even if Federal Reserve would be hiking by 2%, guess, 2% in one policy meeting, it won't have any impact on the inflation, because people demand wheat, there is shortage of wheat. Ukraine 45 million metric ton wheat is not available. So common sense the price will rise. So even if Federal Reserve or RBI or Bank of England or European Central Bank or any other central bank who is hiking the rate, then common sense is they are inviting recession or probably depression at a much faster pace. I preferably see that we are not only, I repeat, we are not only in the world of recession, but we are slowly inclining towards depression. And please to note that when I use the word depression, I mean to say that thousands of jobs, probably in manufacturing sector, textile sector, automation sector, automobile sector, probably pharmaceutical sector, IT sector, thousands of jobs would be at stake. Thousands of jobs would be at stake. Henceforth, guys, please do remember that if you still believe on media, if you still believe on the White House, then the communication for you is that New York City is having no, you know, the I would say the economy is growing according to Biden. There is the economy is very resilient according to Biden. But the hard reality is that economy is slowly and steadily coming down. And why economy is slowly and steadily coming down? Because interest rate are getting hike. So guys, I would request you one thing. Please be careful. We do not know where the war would be going, because unfortunately North Korea and South Korea are both having their weapons against each other, thanks to more than 30 plus ballistic missiles testing by North Korea, and subsequently South Korea also responded that. Iran entering into the war in a very openly manner with Russia is clearly a statistical advantages as well as disadvantages for the investors. Now Israel is helping Ukraine. The war which started between Russia and Ukraine is now slowly and eventually taking a deep turn. And I would like to appraise you very clearly, in the eventuality of any war. I repeat, in the eventuality of any war, whether many, I would say, I don't know how you call this, forecasts we have in on the YouTube. I don't want to specifically name any forecast, but they are saying that the pralay is coming and all these kind of thing. Only the time would be telling whether this would happen or not. But having said that, I strongly feel that we are slowly and steadily moving towards the depression. And if the World War III starts, whether it is full size, medium size, or I would say semi size, in this eventuality, there would be a huge trouble for the world. I am telling you. In one of the forecasts made by a respected gentleman, it is said that the World War will start in February 2023, and unfortunately, Iran, Israel, North Korea, and all these countries' involvement is directly signaling towards that. We are in recession. We are moving towards recession. And if the trend would continue, if the war would continue, and God forbid, I repeat, God forbid, if Russia attack any other NATO countries like Poland, probably Sweden, Finland, and all, then it would be 1-to-1 between Russia and United States. I'm not sure whether China would be openly helping Russia or China would be joining Russia. That time would be telling. But having said that, we are living in a very, very fragile environment. In this fragile environment, always better to use your research, try to understand what is happening from different websites, try to see everything from an holistic point of view, and try to understand that somebody is not fooling you by giving you a half picture. Please do understand that several thousand people worldwide already lost their jobs. Already lost their jobs. So, guys, please be careful. I am telling you, please be careful. It is not at all easy what you are thinking. Rest, you decide yourself. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You knew my personal number +91 9899 242 978. Thank you, guys. Have a great time ahead.